Here are some shout outs. We have Kelly Anderson, Ty Bond, Robin Booton, Michael Chambers, Becky Martin, Tim Fiddlephone. Tim Fiddlephone. I love that name, Tim. There was more to that, I think, Peggy. What did Tim want? You'll have to remind me. I think Tim sent me a message. Tim, I don't remember what your message was. Donna Rupert, Elizabeth Wales from Connecticut, watches faithfully with Rhonda Allen in Virginia. What part of Virginia? Lived in Richmond for 6 years. Love Virginia. Luis Evans, Janine Tonkins, and Barbie Hernandez. Good to see you all. We have people watching from all over the place. I know we have watchers in Arizona. I've met so many of you over the past few days. It's been great to see you. Sheridan, Wyoming, Henderson, North Carolina, Hendersonville, North Carolina, Zurich, Switzerland, Heber, Arizona. Where's Heber? York, Pennsylvania, Victor, Idaho, Melbourne, Australia. Good to see you all. It was 104 degrees here today, guys. It was warm, and it's so nice, though, and I'm loving it. Let me get to your questions. Joyce, did Lori show expression when Nancy testified? Well, we heard expression. Sadly, the cameras, we only see the back of her head, so I couldn't see her face. But Nancy kept it calm. I'm sure Lori had a lot of expression on her face, but again, I couldn't see. And the only one who can really see is the judge and the witness. And the jurors can too from the side. If Alex had done CPR, wouldn't there be blood on his hands? Kathy says. Great point, Kathy. The question about that was kind of brought up from the testimony of the other witnesses the past few days, that normally if someone's been shot and someone has CPR, they're spewing up blood, there's a bloody scene, there's something about blood, and there was none of that with Charles, or with Alex. Yeah, his hands were clean. There could have been blood elsewhere in the home. There could have been, especially if he was attacked too, but the only blood was the pool beneath Charles and then a little bit on the tap in the kitchen. Nancy Jo was on fire. Can you try to land an interview with her? From Angela. I think that would be great. I'd love to talk with Nancy Jo. I did kind of try to catch her eye as she was leaving the courtroom, and she kind of nodded at me. I don't know if she knew who I was or if I was just some weirdo trying to catch her eye, but regardless, yeah, I'd love to talk with her. Matt says, I was a cameraman years ago and all the violence and sadness of the news started to get to me. How are all of you handling the third year of the Daybells trial? Not only must you deal with this darkness, but so many other stories. How do you deal with this and not take it home to your families? There is a lot of violence. There's a lot of sadness of news. I kind of talked about this yesterday. There's also a lot of goodness and a lot of hope and a lot of really wonderful people. And that is honestly how I get through these trials. But please, I mean, the police go through this every day. The prosecution team, the people that see these bodies. I'm here reporting, and it can be physically and emotionally and mentally draining. But there's so many people who go through so much worse. So yeah, I'm not asking for anybody to feel bad, but I will say, this morning I was exhausted. I didn't sleep well. Got up, went for a run, got to the courthouse, went down there with Jordan, and it's just like the kind people, like many of you, that come up and say hi, that want to talk, that say that you follow our work, our reporting at East Idaho News, and just makes it happy. So thank you. We're doing this all for you. I have a question no one seemed to notice about Alex. This is from Linda. Lori said in her opening statement that Alex was awakened by the shouting and came out of the bedroom, pulling up his jeans and shirtless. I listened 2 times to make sure I heard it correctly. You did. She did say something about that, the jeans and shirtless. Yet, how did he end up with the sunglasses on his head? That's the question. Something I'd never thought of before. It was asked. So something in that 40-minute period, did he go in and out of the house? Did he put on his sunglasses? Did he leave the home and come back? All of that is a good question. We'll never know. There weren't cameras. Would have been amazing if there had been a cell phone or a Ring doorbell camera at that house, just to see what that would have shown. My question is, in all the melee that led to the horrible shooting, how did Alex manage to get on a t-shirt and not get blood from his head wound on it? Great follow-up question. Whether it was self-defense or not, a lot was happening in a short time, according to the defense. All police videos show the t-shirt just gray, even not much sweat. Thoughts? The witnesses were asked about that yesterday by Trina Kay. Was Alex sweating? Was he bloody? Did he appear frantic? Did he appear stressed? Did he appear any of that? No. They said he was very nonchalant. He was chill. There wasn't any sweat on him. There wasn't any, sweat off of his forehead or whatever. He was just very casual, like, a pizza was there with him, but also dabbing his head with the paper towel from where he was apparently hit. Do we know if jurors are members of the same church that Lori was? Kiana asks. We don't know. They don't ask their religious preferences. They did ask in jury selection, they did mention that there will be talk of religious aspects. In fact, Trina did say the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Do any of you have strong opinions for or against the church? And none of them did. I don't know the population of LDS in Maricopa County, yet Mormon, LDS versus non-LDS, Mormon versus non-Mormon. But I would think there'd be one or two on the jury. If there's not, then they surely know of members of the church. It's possible for Chad to be watching the trial, Stevie asks. I strongly doubt it. They don't get like court TV. They don't get internet in the prison on death row. I bet if it was on like NBC, like a mainstream channel, they could possibly, but I don't think they do. Did Nancy Jo have any sort of legal background? She was very aware of the legal system, it appeared. Michelle asked that. I don't know. I don't know really anything about Nancy Jo other than today. One of you or a few of you did some research and sent me some information. You found that she was a very strong family woman, that she, was actively involved in the community with her family, but I don't know much more than that. Will East Idaho News be making t-shirts out of bamboo? Ha ha, ride the guy. I don't think so, especially if they're $200 t-shirts. We're not going to charge you $200 for a t-shirt. But I say this every night, tomorrow or maybe Friday, if we do an episode of Courtroom Insider, I'm debating whether to do one on Friday because there shouldn't be court, although there might be an extra hearing we're hearing about with Lori. So if there is, we'll for sure do one. But I have so many photos you all have sent me wearing our East Idaho News shirts. So thank you. I'll show you some of those later this week. Jennifer says, do more people attend the trial than there are seats? On day one, yes. Today there were some extra seats, probably maybe 5 to 10 extra seats. But once it's full, it's full. And there wasn't an issue today. There might be tomorrow. I don't know. Are the witnesses on standby to be called back later to testify? The judge just dismisses them without any questions. I noticed that as well, and I will have to find that out. In Idaho, the judge would say, can they be released from their subpoena? I would imagine that they are still under their subpoena the duration of the trial, and so I would assume that they have to be on standby in case Lori wants to call them back, but maybe they don't during the defense portion, but maybe they don't. If you're a legal person in Arizona, message me and let me know. Did they check anyone's hands for gun residue? Chrissy asks. We talked about that earlier. They did not. Why aren't we allowed to hear the jury questions? Well, it depends on the judge. If the judge believes that the question is relevant and both sides agree it's relevant and should be asked, we hear it. If not, we don't. We did hear one today. Kelly, why did the police not start CPR on Charles when they arrived? Surely they should have started it even though Alex wasn't doing something, was not doing it. They are trained to know if someone is deceased or not. They are not trained to know. Well, he said when he got there that it was clear that Charles was dead. He testified about that. You can go watch the testimony, and that he had been dead for a little bit of time, and that's why he didn't do well. But you're right. The paramedics did do CPR, and they arrived there. So I don't remember his exact testimony. I don't want to guess too. So go back and watch and see why he was asked about it. I just don't remember the answer. Sean T, I'm very interested in going to CrimeCon. I've been looking it all up. If I go, I'll probably go by myself. Do you think that is safe? Oh, yeah, it's safe, Shanti. It's safe. CrimeCon sounds morbid, maybe, sounds weird, sounds like there might be mass murders running around. It's not like that. It's prosecutors, it's defense attorneys, it's journalists like me. I'm going to be there, and I can't wait to tell you what I'm going to be doing for one of the panels. It's not announced yet, but when I tell you, I hope you'll come. I hope you'll be there if you can. It can be pricey for some of you. If you use the promo code Eaton, EATON, I shouldn't say for some of you. There is a fee, and the speakers are not paid. We're not paid. They do cover our lodging and they do cover our flights, and they bring in tons of speakers. And it's just fascinating if you're into true crime. But if you use EATON as the promo code, that'll get you 10% off a standard badge. Is there anything someone like me should know who's never been to like that before? Just you're going to go and have fun, and you'll see the schedule, look at past years, the agendas, and you can get an idea. Do they have food vendors there, or will I have to go off site to eat? I believe they're in the I've never been to this resort where they're holding it, this hotel, but in the past they've had all sorts of food vendors. Nate speaks about a trial for Brandon Boudreaux. What trial could he clarify that? Yes, Brandon Boudreaux is Lori's former nephew-in-law. He was driving home from the gym when he was shot at by Alex Cox. He survived. He was not hit. And now Lori's charged with conspiring to commit his murder. Brandon was on the dark list. Brandon was married to Melanie Boudreaux. Brandon's trial is set for the first 2 weeks of June, and I'll be back here to cover it. That's the last Daybell trial. Ray, I'm not sure if it's come out in the courtroom whether Charles was shot standing up for the first shot from Alex. It came out today. If you go back and listen, it was clarified that he was standing up when he was shot. Can you clarify if Charles was shot both times while lying on the floor? No, he was shot once standing, he fell to the ground, and then was shot again, according to the witnesses. Does a jury know that Adam is dead? And if not, will they be told? Yes, Lori told them that her brother is no longer alive, that he passed away. They don't know the specifics. Ty, I might be coming to the trial at the end of the week or the week after. I'm just wondering if you could give me some idea of what time to be at the courthouse if I want to get a seat. The courtroom opens at the courtroom is actually in use by another judge before 10. So that's why the trial starts at 10:30. So people start arriving around 7 to 8. I got there a little later this morning. I got there around 8:15. The past few days I've gotten there around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I'm on the media row, but I think if you got there, I would say by 9, but please get there early because who knows, tomorrow there could be 100 people there and then, you're out of luck. What would open the door to the prosecution talking about her Idaho charges? I saw a witness mentioned Idaho. Yes, a witness did mention Idaho yesterday. They didn't go down that road with it. Lori could have said, you mentioned an Idaho trial. What was that about? She didn't. And so I don't know if we'll see if that will come of it. Rhonda, why doesn't the court keep more jurors? Well, it's up to the judge. He chose 4 alternates. He could have had 6, could have had 8. That's a lot of alternates. You also don't want to go overboard. And then, they go down and serve time for 3 or 4 weeks, and then half of them go home because they don't have to deliberate. But so far, we haven't lost anything like that, any jurors. Can Lori's interrogation interview be used as evidence by the prosecution or anyone? I don't know if they'll bring that in. That's a great question. We'll have to see because it's out there. We know it's out there. With 2 jurors already being dismissed in Lori's case, what happens if they run out of jury members? Is that even possible? It is possible. If 2 more get booted, then no more can be lost. If you lose 3 more, they have to do a mistrial. You don't have a full jury. Does the jury know Lori is a prisoner? Well, they know she's been charged with conspiracy to commit murder. They have not seen her in her jail outfit, and they have not seen her with handcuffs or ankle shackles. So they do know that she, yes, has been charged. I don't know how much they know with the specifics. Nate, does Lori have any family of her own in court? She does not. Well, her uncle has come and cousins, but she doesn't have any others. Yesterday, Idaho was brought up in court. We talked about that. Do you feel like Lori was fixated on CPR? If so, why? A lot of talk about CPR. I don't know if she was fixated. I think she might be trying to find any sort of thing that she can go after, if that's the word, if she can, bring up to be like, hey, why didn't this happen? Or why didn't that happen? So it's maybe she was fixated on it. Someone asked about attending court. We talked about that. Yesterday, Lori left the courtroom. Was she escorted by officers? She's not escorted. She's escorted by an officer opens the door, but then she walks to the table and then she walks out on her own. It's not like they go and stand next to her, but there is a deputy that's about 5 to 10 feet behind her at all times in a uniform. Do you think she's being disrespectful to the judge at times? Some could say that. Our other attorneys are quite passionate. I don't know if they'd be as condescending, if you want to call it that, but yeah, she's definitely passionate about some of her things. What are my thoughts about Lori's behavior and how is she doing serving as her attorney? Well, we've seen different Loris. I talked about this last night. Today we saw the fiery Lori. We saw the I'm going to stand up and I'm going to be an attorney Lori until the last witness when she said she had no questions. So I don't know. We've seen other different Loris. We've seen lawyers that are submissive, and we've seen other type of things with from her. So you, I guess you can be the judge as to how you think she's doing. During CrimeCon, can you mention recent updates on Jean-Benet Ramsey? I I might if I do a panel about Jean-Benet, but I believe John Ramsey is from Colorado where the crimes happened, so I'm pretty sure, I don't know 100% that that case will be discussed. I would not be surprised if John Ramsey himself is there. People are asking about putting JJ in the car. On day 2 of the trial, Lori said we put JJ in the car. What do you make of this? Who's the we? It could be her and Tylee that took JJ out. That's what the way that Lori made it sound. Maybe Charles took him out, Lori went back in. Again, these are questions that I wish we knew the answers to, and unfortunately, we just don't. We know what's been said. We know the version of events from certain people who are no longer here or who are on trial. Why doesn't Court TV's pool camera show the evidence being shown on the screen during trial? Great question. Because the judge has ordered that nothing inflammatory or graphic be shown. And he didn't give specifics like, don't show this, do show this. But the media, we have to be very careful following that court order. So that's why it's not panning up to the screen. If it can be shown, if the evidence is not graphic, they will show it, and thus will show it to you. And they're working out their camera kinks and whatnot, but sorry about the audio stuff today, but that's why they're not showing it. Tim says, Nate, can you do your best Nancy Grace impersonation saying, who killed Nate Eaton and is wearing his skin? Nancy said that the other day when I've had more people talk to me about that Nancy Grace interview. What's funny is that after she ended the interview, she said, all right, gotta go, love ya. Nate Eaton, did someone kill you and put on your skin? Nate Eaton, it's always Nate Eaton. One of a law enforcement friend texted me today and said, I'm gonna stand up for you to Nancy Grace. Thank you all for caring so much. Today, Nancy Joe, back to the other Nancy, said that she'd seen Charles's picture on TV in December of that year. Can you tell us why his picture was on TV? I'm betting that when the story broke that JJ and Tylee were missing and that Chad and Lori were on the run, all the media was doing deep dives into the history. And so we probably, especially in Arizona, they're like, Lori Vallow, her husband was killed in July, and they showed him then, because that's when it was all coming together. So that's probably how she saw it on TV. Can I get notifications that Courtroom Insider is coming on? Yes. And here's how you do it. You subscribe to our YouTube channel and you hit the bell. Also, if you're following me on Facebook, I think you should get a notification, but I don't know how that works. And here's where you can find me, by the way. I am at all of these places. I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, I'm on Insta, and I'm on YouTube. And the past few mornings, I've been going live on YouTube before court, and this morning was quite fun. If you weren't part of the conversation, it's a little bit more casual than here. Not that I feel this pretty casual, but this is more just me chatting on the way. And for some reason, you all were asking crazy things like, what brand of toothpaste do I have? And do I wear cologne? And what kind of deodorant? All that sort of stuff. So that can be there. Last question for the night. Sherry, in the courtroom, can you hear Lori whisper when she doesn't realize her mic is on? No. You all probably hear that more than I do, more than the people in the courtroom do, because we're far back. In fact, sometimes we can't even hear what the judge is saying or what Trina K is saying or what Lori's saying because they're not talking into their mics. All right, everybody, we had a great night. Thanks for bearing with me with the technical difficulties in the beginning, and we will be back tomorrow. Another day in court, more witnesses. Live stream starts at 10. Live stream starts at 11 Arizona time. And here to remind you, because many of you are still emailing me saying, how do I watch? How do I watch? This will answer all of your questions that you need to know. 11 o'clock Pacific, noon Mountain, 1 Central, 2 Eastern on the East Idaho News YouTube channel, where you can chat with Peggy and our other people who are on there all day, discuss the trial as it's on. I pop in there a time or two and say hello. It's really awesome to go in and see all of you acting as kind of our own little East Idaho News community. I'm about to run out of a voice, so everybody have a great night. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.